just wanna live my life. I did what I thought was right, but they said I was wrong. Tryna save my life or take my own. I said I don't wanna hurt.
What's good, everybody? My name is Isaiah, and I'm your favorite brother.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Ben, and we already know that I'm your favorite brother. Welcome today to episode 4 of the Speak Like Brothers podcast. The objective of the podcast is to speak
Relate.
and understand. This is a podcast where we talk everything culture, current events, sports, and the conversations that everybody's having, but nobody's really having.
Today, we have a lot to discuss. We're breaking down the latest updates in the Nolan Wells case, Brandon Aiyuk's NFL situation, and Conor McGregor's legacy, and ending with Brothers Court. As always, we're here to give our thoughts, have real conversations, and look at different perspectives.
Yes. With no further ado, let's before we get into anything else, Isaiah, we gotta get to this wicked fight over the weekend with
Yeah,
McGregor. I mean, bro, what did you think about that? 5 seconds into the fight,
that fight was some bullshit. You know how much money I lost? I'm even gonna put it out there, but you know how much money I lost from that fight?
how much you
I lost.
lose?
eh,
Was it more than 50?
oh, it was more than 50 for this dude to go out there and, and throw a kick and get hurt in 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
People
Five
last longer than that
seconds.
in bed. Come on, man. Come on, man. You
Right.
do a kick like, dude. Why you waste everybody's time, man? You coming out here, you can't even throw a kick, dude.
A kick.
I, I,
A
I was ready
kick.
all week, man. I was ready all week, dude, to watch this fight. I was watching with
Bro,
my
me
mom, my
on bro.
family,
On
had the
bro.
whole family over the crib.
Mm.
You walking
Mm-mm-mm.
out to you? How you gonna walk out to Notorious Big and throw a kick and perform like that?
Right. Right.
Come on, man.
Right. Do better. That's all I can
And,
say.
and then I
Do
got a
better.
notification. And then I got a notification on my phone saying Conor McGregor plans to return after injury.
Hmm.
Sit your down.
Right, right.
Like,
He might be headed up there with Mike Tyson and them. I don't know. I don't know. If
shoot, at
you
least
get
Mike
injured after
Tyson.
5 seconds, I
Shoot,
don't.
at least Mike Tyson made it through a whole fight
Right. Hey,
or
you
through
can't
half
say he
of it.
ain't did that.
Man, bro.
Yeah, man. It might be time to clock out, throw in the
Ha- ha-
towel.
Man, hang it up, throw the towel in, man.
Yeah.
Cause that was
Mm.
embarrassing.
A waste of time, a waste of advertisement, a waste of money, a waste of putting up money, a waste of getting my money to put it up. Like it was just a waste of time.
Man, like,
It was a waste of time, bro. So we
man,
just had
not
to share with y'all what we thought about that.
yeah, man. That one hurt me to my heart, man. Really
It hurt
did,
you to
man.
your heart. You was
That one
hurt,
hurt me.
brother.
Shoot, I
You
lost
was
some
hurt.
bread. I lost some bread. Shoot,
Hey, when you put in that perspective, I'd be hurt too.
you know what I'm
We
saying?
all be
So
hurt about some money.
that was my gas. That was my gas tank, man. Yeah, but let's talk about the next segment, the Nolan Wells update.
Since our last conversation with you guys, everyone knows last week we talked about Nolan Wells. There has been some new developments after his parents spoke publicly and attorney Ben Crump became involved in the case.
Nolan's parents have continued searching for answers and have raised concerns about different parts of the timeline surrounding what happened before Nolan's death.
One of the biggest topics that has been discussed is Nolan's phone. His family has questions the details surrounding the phone and what information may or may not be available from it. His family has questioned details surrounding the phone and what information may or may not be available from it. They have said they found it unusual that there was not the type of social media activity from the Snapchat, such as photos, videos, because that is expected from Nolan based on how he normally documented his life.
Another major detail that has been discussed is a video that Ben Crump says shows an interaction involving Nolan before his disappearance. Crump has said that this video raises additional questions about what happened before Nolan went missing.
Yes, and in that video, you could allegedly hear Nolan Wells saying, "Give me my freaking phone back." So we got a lot of opinions to talk about that coming up soon. But before we do, let me just finish give you guys a couple of facts. So the family has announced that they are pursuing an independent autopsy as they continue seeking more answers.
And Ben Crump has stated that the family deserves a full understanding of what happened and has questioned whether all of the details surrounding the case have been answered.
Authorities have continued their investigation, and the questions surrounding the case remain. Now that we've covered the facts and the updates, let's talk about our perspectives. Isaiah, what you guys say about this?
Um, See, like I still stand on what we said a little bit last time. You know, it's kind of still like not a lot of information just to judge and um just say everything you think. Because at the end of the day, we're missing some stuff, and um that's just gonna be the way it is. But when it comes to the phone and the video on his phone saying, "Hey, give me my phone back," that's like, I don't want to make it seem like they took his phone and they weren't giving it back and they were like bullying him. Cause I don't took one of my homies' phone before too, like playing with him. Like we all play like that, obviously, but I don't know. I don't want to think too much of it. But at the end of the
Mhm.
day, it's sketchy though. You can't say it ain't sketchy though. All of this is very sketchy. And yeah, that's about the phone thing.
Yeah. For me personally, what I said was I feel like the timelines discrepancy with the times on Snapchat and Live 360 was definitely weird to me. So it does make sense now that the parties involved are lawyering up. And the fact that the parents and the friend of the family had to go locate his phone and track it down, and that knowing that he was with from any of the parties that he was involved that past weekend, didn't go give the parents his phone or, turn it into the police or go do something. That to me is very suspect. Because if something happens to my friend, of course and like something especially tragic, like I'm gonna make sure his belongings are given to someone that truly cares about him. So, you
Right,
know, to me, this stuff is just common sense. I think the writing is on the wall.
right.
And that ties in with the alleged audio that Ben Crump talked about on Good Morning America, telling, as far as him talking about the audio with Nolan Wells talking about, "Give me my phone back." The fact that he even had to argue to get his belongings back, even if it was a joke, like you said, with the optics of the whole situation and this being the tragedy that it is, like you said, like, yeah, we may joke with our friends and do stuff like that, but the situation like this is just hard to think.
Yeah,
Um, was this a joke?
yeah. It
Just
kind of,
from the way the turnout was, it
yeah,
sounded like it may have been something else.
right. It come out
But
more sketchy.
right, but ultimately, um, I just feel very sympathetic for the parents, and I'm sending them my deepest condolences again. Just from how they carried themselves, through press conferences on Good Morning America, and the strength that they've had. I admire that, and I love how the Black community is stepping up in this situation, as far as Attorney Ben Crump representing the family and activist Reverend Al Sharpton supporting the family and joining calls for answers surrounding the investigation. and how Colin Kaepernick has helped fund an independent autopsy for the family. So, you know, hats off to the black community. I mean, I think it's great that they're stepping up in this situation. But before we move on from this subject, did you see his best friend's interview I sent you with TMZ?
Yeah.
Before I get my thoughts about that, let me know what you think. And I may be off. Maybe I ain't, maybe I thought too much of it. Just let me know what you think. I'm gonna just sit back and listen. And if you haven't seen the clip from Nolan Wells' best friend, here's a sneak peek right here.
So, but is that Nolan in the video? I can't tell. It's too far away. But in that video, I feel like the voices are too clear. Like from the side, it's too clear for it to be that far away for it to be Nolan arguing. And then also that altercation, it sounds just like my other friend that got into the altercation on the boat. And they were trying to, like, as he was in that altercation, I was calming him down. They were trying to get him out off the island. They were trying to get him back to land because he was just losing it. So describe that. That's kind of interesting. What was that about? He was just very hostile. Like he was just like really like mad. Like they were just trying to, like, the parents on that boat were trying to get him out.
I'm curious if the police have. I know they say they're still investigating. Did any investigators ever speak to you about what you saw that day?
No, sir.
Really? Okay.
Cops have not talked to you yet. No, sir. That's odd. I don't see why the cops would have. I don't see why the cops would have to talk to me. I mean, obviously, like, like I had said my plea, like, because whenever I had talked to the people at Sunheard, it was whenever the body was discovered, and the autopsy people and the all those people were there. Well, I'll tell you why I'm surprised, because you knew Nolan well, and you knew that he was friends with these guys who were the last ones to be around him before his body was found. And I would think they would at least want to know, hey, just the things we're asking.
Right.
Did you ever hear of any of this stuff? It's odd to me.
Just to gather information.
Yeah, that the cops wouldn't have contacted you. Yeah. And that's fine. Like, I'm completely fine with that. Like I said, I have nothing to hide. Like, that's my boy, and I want him to find justice. Like that. Like this whole case thing. Like whatever. Like this whole situation, and none of this adds up to me. So like, it's really hard. Like for like people to just like keep on saying things when like none of it adds up.
Seen the video that's been going around social media.
Well, honestly, when you did send me that video, I watched it, and I just feel like in the video, this kid, for somebody that claimed that that was his friend, there was like no emotion in his answers. Like you would think if your friend just died and you were getting asked about it, you would have a little bit of more emotion, you know what I'm saying, behind your answers and when you're answering the questions. Um,
Right, right.
that's just how I felt about it. And it's just like instead of like going somewhere else, the first place you went was to TMZ. TMZ. So they must.
TMZ.
You think they offered him some money, Ben?
I wouldn't put it past them. I
How
don't
much you
put
think?
nothing past nobody.
So it's just
Um,
like honestly, I think that's just some bullshit too. That
yeah.
interview. And like I said, you just gotta watch out who you call your friends too, because it's just like for
Mhm.
somebody that was his best friend, I would have been like, hey, he know the same stuff we know, and I would have been behind.
Mhm.
Hey, something not adding up, this. But instead, it's just like there was no emotion towards none of these answers. It's like you don't care.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Or
Okay.
maybe he's just not an emotional type of guy. But
I don't know. Maybe he isn't, but if that was my best friend, first of all, let me just put out here like this. For you to go to TMZ, and mind you, this wasn't even a week hadn't even passed. A week hadn't even passed since Nolan Wells had passed away. And as soon as TMZ reached out to him, he took that interview. To me, that comes off like you want clout. You want clout. And you're using this situation from your and he they didn't say that this was his friend. They said that this was his best friend. And
Right.
you using this situation from your best friend's tragedy to get clout? Now I ain't saying you gotta be breaking down and getting on the ground, but I think you would at least be like, I miss my dog. I miss my dog. Something, but you just emotionless. And I'm thinking like it ain't
Man,
even been a week yet. Like I don't roll like that, but different stuff for different folks. So
right. But
it's my dog.
but
But
yes.
yeah, and this is my thing, real quick, before I get done. Sometimes I feel like this. What he said, I don't really think helped Nolan case. I don't think it helped Nolan's case for him to find justice. Sometimes I feel like, you know what? Silence is golden. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. So I guess so we right here on that one, man. For
Yeah,
real.
yeah, he said a whole lot of nothing, to be honest. It was just,
Yeah. Yeah.
but he probably got
Right.
paid. TMZ
Oh,
probably,
he did.
but no,
He
that's just how I
did.
felt about that. And like we do all the other topics, as more information comes out, we're gonna continue to drop more info and
Yes.
keep coming back to you guys with more information, the more information we
Right.
get.
Hmm.
So, but now let's move on, and
Yes.
we getting back to the sports, man.
Yes, sir. So now we got to talk about the situation currently with Brandon Ayuk and the situation that has turned into one of the strangest NFL stories this offseason. Back in 2023, Ayuk had a breakout season, finishing with over 1,300 receiving yards, earning second team All Pro honors, and proving he was one of the top receivers in football.
Yep. Going into 2024, Ayuk wanted a contract that reflected his value. The problem was the 49ers had several major players they needed to pay, and on both sides struggled to find an agreement.
Ayuk eventually requested a trade, and two teams heavily connected him were the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Washington Commanders. Washington made sense because Ayuk had a relationship with quarterback Jaden Daniels from their time together at Arizona State.
Instead of being traded, Ayuk and San Francisco reached an agreement on a 4-year, 120 million extension. Man, 120 million. But
120
sure,
million.
you know what I could do with 100? You know how much I could get for 120 million?
Man,
Nah, take that
I'm
back. That
talking
sound like
hoes
a
on hoes on hoes on
that's a
hoes.
hold on now. Disclaimer. Ain't nobody paying for the cutty now. Hold on. Let me put that out
You
there.
ain't kidding. I ain't
No,
gotta pay for
right. Right.
it.
But no. But shortly after, he signed the agreement on $120 million, he ended up getting hurt and suffered from a torn ACL and MCL during the 2024 season.
All right, now let's talk about where the relationship broke down. So soon after the injury, the relationship between Ayuk and the 49ers reportedly became damaged. The biggest issue was trust. Ayuk reportedly felt that after committing long term to the organization, the team was not fully standing behind him during his recovery.
From the 49ers perspective, they just had given Ayuk a massive contract and wanted to protect the organization while he recovered from a serious injury.
Then the situation became more public when Ayuk expressed his frustrations on social media involving the 49ers and later Jaden Daniels.
All right, so now we're finna dive into the Jaden Daniels controversy. So Ayuk and Jaden Daniels are close friends from their time at Arizona State. When a fan yelled at Daniels during an appearance and criticized Ayuk, Daniels laughed it off. And Ayuk apparently took issue with how the situation was handled.
That created another conversation because some people felt Ayuk was putting his friend in the middle of a business situation, while others felt that Ayuk was just frustrated because he expected some support from someone he was close to.
Well, so with all that being said, Ben, what do you think about this? Who do you think's right? Who do you
Mm,
think's wrong? Kind of a little
mm.
brothers court segment, but not a brothers court
This
segment.
is a brothers court. It's brothers court, but it ain't brothers court. Okay. All right. Well, you already know I'm ready to talk about how I feel. So let me go on and get into it. So, for one, he definitely deserves to get paid more than anything because one thing about on the Speaking Like Brothers podcast, we don't play about our paper. That's for one.
Man,
I mean, he had a breakout season in 2023, proved that he was a true number one receiver. And I feel like, NFL careers are short. Never apologize for chasing your value
right.
because ain't nobody gonna advocate for you like you.
Like yourself.
I'm just saying. So I don't fault him for wanting top receiver money. I think he earned that conversation. But I will say, as far as the relationship changing after he got hurt, before the injury, the $120 million extension, and then after the injury, there was reports of disagreements over rehab and contract guarantees. So I think that trust seemed to disappear. So it feels like the relationship was never the same once he got injured. Now, as far as him wanting to play with Jaden Daniels, to me that does make sense. They already have, previous experience with each other from playing at Arizona State together. And Washington was an attractive destination. And I think a fresh start for him would have definitely been understandable from a football standpoint. I could see why Washington could have been appealing to him because, that brings some comfort when you already are not having trust with the team that you with.
Right.
Now, as far as bringing Jaden to the drama publicly, I do think that was a mistake, maybe, but I kind of could see where he coming from. You know, if someone says something, it's like if we was if we was somewhere and the crowd yelled out something about like F Isaiah trailer, especially if we go way back, like and you just gonna look and you laugh at it. To me, that's weird. Because if a fan says something like that, like that's just like if a fan says something like about me,
Right.
you gotta learn how to like ignore it. So if he gon' so you gonna laugh when he says something about someone that you go way back with, to me that's funny stuff. I don't move like that. Um, I would just ignore it and act like I ain't here, but to like laugh at it, like that's a
Right.
little funny style to me. So I could kind of see why he would feel some kind of way, but bringing him into the public drama, I do think was a mistake because he did create the conflict, um, and I don't think that you should let business disputes spill into friendships. But I do not think that the 49ers are innocent by any means. I think that, they paid him, but players remember how organizations treat them when they're injured, especially the stars. And every player in that locker room is watching. So organizations talk about loyalty all the time. Moments like this is when you find out if it's real or not. But that's what I pretty much think about it. My biggest takeaway from this is I can understand IU's frustration. I understand the 49ers wanting to protect themselves. I think that um, both sides probably made a mistake, but once everything became public, there was probably no coming back. So
Right.
I don't think that Brandon Ayuk's biggest problem is talent, it's perception. The NFL has always been a league where your reputation matters. he had every right to fight for what he believed that he earned. But once the relationship broke down publicly, I think that both sides lost trust in each other because there's probably conversations we don't even know about. So,
Right.
yeah, but real quick in the comments, y'all let us know what's more important in today's NFL: loyalty, business, or reputation, and who do you think lost sight of that first? Brandon Ayuk or the 49ers? Let us know in the comments.
Right. Right.
But on to you, my brother. What you think?
See, honestly, what I think is, okay, when it comes to the NFL, NFL is a business. When
Yeah.
a lot of people look at the league, a lot of people think, oh, it's just sports, it's just trading, but no, these sports teams work like any other business would. You're gonna have to fire people, you're gonna have to cut people, cut people's hours, as in cut people's playing time. That's just the way it works. So when you get injured or you get hurt, and you can't play, or you don't come back as good as you are, um, I'm not going to say you should expect to get traded, but when you're in a business or an organization, like the NFL where trades happen every day, um, you should kind of like get that feeling, or, start to expect it a little bit, or at least think about it,
Yeah.
or at least think about it. That's just how I feel about it. So were the 49ers wrong for trying to make the move that they thought was best for them? Honestly, I don't think so. But was there a different way they could have went about it? Not really, because Brandon
Mm.
Ayuk was greedy and he wanted, a lot of money. For example,
Hmm.
you got players in the NBA willing to take pay cuts, like Jalen Brunson did for the New York Knicks this year. You know,
Hmm. Yeah.
the less greedy you are, the more will come to you. The better you'll get. And that's just how I view that situation. Like Brandon Ayuk was being greedy. He got hurt. Probably wasn't the best as he was before he got hurt. Still was a good receiver, don't get me wrong, but just not the same receiver he was. So you can't expect to be getting that same pay or even more pay when you're not the
Mhm.
best receiver. You're not performing at the same level that you were. That's how I feel about that. Now when we get to the Jaden Daniels controversy, the thing about it is, I'm with it. I'm with you 100%. Ayuk, honestly. I feel like once your friend goes behind your back, or not behind your back, but in your face actually, and is laughing when other people are making jokes at you and y'all supposed to be friends. Mind you, receivers and the quarterback supposed to have the strongest relationship probably on the team,
Mhm.
on the
Yeah.
offense. You know, so the fact that you laughing or something about that, that just shows the respect that you have for me, especially you being the quarterback, knowing that all eyes are on you at all times you know. So that just shows the level of respect that you have for me. Even if you didn't even think it was funny, or you didn't mean nothing behind the laugh, you got to understand you're Jaden Daniels. You're the quarterback. You got to understand
Right.
what you do or how you do things. People are going to take that and try to switch everything around. So that's the thing. Maybe I don't think Jaden Daniels meant to do anything like that or make Ayuk feel that type of way. But it's just like you got to understand at the same time, Jaden Daniels, how else would you think that would look? But then on Ayuk, I think Ayuk is also wrong too because I feel like Ayuk got a little bit, he got a little bit offended and he went about it the wrong way. I think that's more of a man to man conversation that you should have instead of just bringing it to the internet.
Right.
Um, And don't get me wrong, I done that before too. Went to the internet because sometimes that's just the first. Sometimes that's the first thing you do. Like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna put you on the internet, and they're gonna see what type of. I gotta get my
Yeah.
get back. But sometimes you just gotta talk like a man. And maybe he did do that. You feel me? We don't know. Like you said, there's a lot of stuff we don't know. But as far as I
Mhm.
know, I just think it's just the media being the media. Um, I hope they work it out. like grown men. Um, and I wish the best for them in their relationship because the
Yeah,
so
me too.
social media knows how to come in between everybody, but it only so the people that are friends that have a real friendship, only the fake friendships and due to social media,
Right, right.
you
And
know.
I think all things can be fixed with a conversation, but like you said, you got to keep social media out of it. You got to have phone conversations. You can't take your issues to social media. If you got my number, you call me if you got an issue with me. So, yeah, I agree with you though.
Right. Well, hey, we're gonna move on to our last segment, our
Yes.
brothers court segment.
This week's segment is a little bit different. We don't got a video. When have we ever done Brothers Court and not had a video? So
Right.
today we gotta switch it up on y'all. So the topic is your friend becomes famous. Do they owe you help? So imagine that your best friend becomes extremely successful. They start making money, getting opportunities, and living a completely different lifestyle. But they don't bring you into their success. Are they wrong?
Or are you wrong for expecting someone else's success to benefit you? You want me to go
All right.
first? Or you going first? I'll
I'll
let you go
let you go
first. Nah, nah,
first.
nah, I'll let
Okay,
you go
you
first. Go,
all
go.
right, you want me to go first? I feel like this. Me, I'm the type of guy. I don't look for no handouts from nobody.
Right,
As long as I'm doing well for myself, I got a roof over my head. I'm gonna be happy for my friend, but I ain't looking for no handouts. Now, if you wanna bless me and give me some money, okay, cool. I ain't never gonna turn down no check. So yeah, as far as like your friend being successful and all that stuff, I don't feel like um, someone's success should just benefit you. You know,
right,
you ain't owed nothing in life,
right.
and you ain't entitled to nothing. So I'ma say no.
The thing, okay, this is what I feel like. I feel like when it comes to this topic, or this situation, it also depends on like what they're both doing. Like, if that makes sense. Like their how successful they both are. For example,
Yeah.
I've been my whole life, I've been one of those dudes like, hey, bro, if I make it, we make it, bro. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
And let's say me and you been, let's say I get older, we both get older. Let's say for some reason I was living, just a mid class life, and you were booming, and you got, what I'm saying, all these deals coming in and stuff like that. I mean, I ain't gonna expect no handout, but like you said, if you ever feel like, hey, bro, hey, here you go for being a good homie, you know,
Right.
I would
Right.
take it because, like, who ain't gonna take no check, like you said.
Right.
Um, Now let's just say, um, you were booming, you was getting deals and stuff like that, and maybe I was struggling, I ain't gonna say I expect a handout, but if I were you in a certain situation, if I was the guy that was booming and popping, and you were the guy that was struggling a little bit, I would definitely try to give you some, hook you up or put you on with some opportunities,
Right. For
that
sure.
I know about. Like,
Yeah. That's what a real friend's supposed to do.
you know, but for it's just like, oh yeah, bro, my homie, you know what I'm saying, he made it, and you ain't gonna give me no money, bro. Like, you lame. No, you shouldn't expect none of that. Cause at the end of the day,
Nah.
your homie's money is not your money, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I feel about it. I think you should never expect a handout, but somebody willing to give you something, accept it.
Right. Let him bless you. Let
Right.
him
Be
bless you.
blessed. Shoot.
Yeah, I agree now. Now, if I'm sick and I'm on my deathbed and I ain't got no money, then yeah, I feel like, because if it was me and then you struggling, of course, I'm gonna try and help you out and get you back on your feet. So I would just hope, if you make it, you gonna help me out too.
Right.
So yeah, I agree. I agree.
Facts, facts, facts. And this was kind of a different Brothers Court segment. Like, like Ben said, there's no video. And
No, it feels
if
weird.
y'all, another thing we've also forgot to mention is too, it's just like, if y'all see some videos that y'all want us to react to, or
Yes.
just send them. Y'all got the Instagram right there,
Right, right down here.
the SLB podcast, and just follow that, and just send it, and we'll definitely tune into it, because like I said, this is a family over here at the Speak Like Brothers podcast, and
Yes, it
whatever y'all
is.
want, y'all gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, if y'all have any videos that y'all want us to react to for Brothers Court, feel free to hit us in the DMs, man.
Yes, and the DMs, they open. We waiting. We want to
Right.
see some of them DMs. So make sure
Right.
y'all send it. Now, don't
Right.
send us no news now.
Whoa,
But
whoa, whoa.
but y'all can send us some videos. Not them kind of videos, but
Oh, okay.
Brothers Court videos.
Brothers Court video.
Brothers Court videos.
No
Nothing
cap.
crazy. Nothing
Well,
crazy, cousins. Nothing
right.
crazy. That's what we go. So what should we call our supporters?
I don't know. Matter of fact, I think we should think about it, and we should
Mm-hmm.
get back to him on the next podcast,
You're
next
right. I like that
episode.
idea. I like that idea.
I think we should. So we're gonna let y'all know
Mm-hmm.
um
Mm-hmm.
the
And if
next
y'all got
episode.
suggestions about what y'all want to be called as our supporters, drop it down in the comments.
Right.
We always looking.
Always. But no, this was definitely a fun episode talking about the
Yes.
Conor McGregor fight, recovering news about the Nolan Xavier Wells topic, and then speaking about Brandon Aiyuk and then the Brothers Cross segment. Definitely a fun episode, and
Definitely.
I'm definitely happy that we got to cover all of those things, because those are things that have been running through my mind. I couldn't wait to do this episode today.
Me too.
Um,
I've been writing it down. I've been writing down a lot of stuff. Y'all know I like to write down my thoughts so I can make sure I deliver everything to y'all. I gotta deliver.
Without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping it up. We appreciate you guys for tuning in to the podcast. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, follow us on all platforms.
Yes.
The objective of this podcast is to speak
Relate.
and understand. I'm your favorite brother, Isaiah.
And we already know that I'm your favorite brother Ben, and we're gonna see y'all next time. And what do we always tell y'all? Peace in the Middle East.
I wanna hurt no more. I just wanna live my life. I did what I thought was right, but they said I was wrong. Tryna